And we're live again. Hi, everyone. Me and Alistair is back. We're again talking about the WTC lists. And what are we talking about today, Alistair?
We have picked up England 2 and Spain 2. So those are the two teams we'll discuss. The quick little provision that we've thrown into the start of every video. WTC is single or double generic platoon, 1,000 points. There's a list of approved units that the TOs have put out, and all the lists we're going to review have been checked and approved by the TOs. So if people think they're not accurate as per the rules, they are accurate as per the rules, the player pack, and the TO's decision. So that's what we're going to do.
Yep. And as always, there's a link in the description if you want to go and check out the lists yourself. If you don't want to sit here and look at my screen, I'm going to share it. And we're starting with England 2. So the first one is their British list. Coming up right here. Right, I'll enhance that a bit. So we're looking at another Gurkha list here. Arben Adam as the National Special Trade, Second Lieutenant with an SMG, 35 points, Artillery Observer, and then the 7-man Gurkha paratroopers. What do you think about these 7-man paratroopers? No, maybe I should do the list first. And
yeah, let's get the list and then we'll get the thoughts.
Two 7-man Gurkha paratroopers, a land mattress, a Marmot Harrington, the M3 Darker Stewart, a mule team to tow the what was that, land mattress, and then a second lieutenant again, 2 more paratrooper Gurkhas, a land mattress, a PPA flamethrower jeep, and a Darker Stewart. Right. So my question, the first question, before we go into the list itself, do you think that running these 7-man Gurkha paras is the way to go?
Yes.
Right, because I always run Gurkhas 8-man units, and I don't run them para Gurkhas. So I know a lot of people are shifting to this, and I can see the math here. I'm just you take a couple of losses, and the unit becomes ineffective, and I don't like that. So, but I can see that because the math here, of course, to your viewer is that you're going to need to lose more than half of your unit before you take a test, right? That's why you run them in 7-man sizes, in odd numbers. So you need to lose 4 guys instead of 3 or whatever, right? Before you take a test to run off. Now, the list itself. What do we think?
The list itself is unimaginative. It's I think in previous videos I've often described these lists as, you know, Granny's soup. It's old, it's reliable, it's tasty. You know exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah.
The problem that this list now will face is that players are tooling up to counter it. And, you know, through the videos we've already done, the autocannon emplacements are popping up. And there are autocannon tanks. So these Stuarts are now under, you know, some pretty grim threat. And the best thing about the autocannons is they're also very good at killing veteran troops.
Oh, yeah.
So
2 hits with an autocannon, and that is at least 2 dead Gurkhas, at least.
So whenever this list goes on the table, their opponent should know exactly what they need to do to beat it. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad list. Granny's soup is always tasty, and if you are...
It is definitely not a bad list for me. This, I don't think I could improve this much. I mean, you might want to run something else than 2 land mattresses for me, but I think it's got a lot of good things. It's a very, very strong list, but as you say, players will know how to play against it. Yeah,
certainly a strong list. And the PPA Jeep, you know, we always talk about that as a last dice, first dice weapon. But the order dice total of 14, we've seen already that there are a lot more lists with a lot more order dice doing the round. So, look, I'm sure this list will be good. Another one of my great sayings is it's good enough for 3 wins. And in the right hands, this will be good enough for at least 3 wins. So, yeah,
and with the right matchups, if you if this list ends up against some of the Japanese lists we've seen, they will absolutely smash them to bits. because it's very, very good at killing infantry. This list, it is extremely good at killing infantry. Maybe even the most optimized version that you can get, but it does lack anti-tank. It does lack the ability to have something that shoots indirectly. There isn't
Yeah.
a sniper. There is like there's one flamethrower, but that's the Jeep, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, right. The second list is a German one. So we have a second lieutenant, regular, single man, then Fallschirmjägers, the Casino Anzio Fallschirmjägers. So they are the Eben Email, the +1 to hit flamethrower. So that is really strong. 6-man units, veterans, really, really dangerous. These Fallschirm pioneers. And then medium mortar, Gewehr 43, Nebelwerfer, Panzer 3 with that's the twin coaxial MMG, so that's the Dakar Panzer. A mule team, 2 heavy field cars for the engineers. And then the second platoon has the Kriegsmarine officer, so that is the cheaper officer. A Kriegsmarine squad, that's a 10-man inexperienced rifles with double Panzerfaust. I don't really understand the double Panzerfaust in this. A Fallschirmjäger with 2 SMGs, 2 Panzerfausts, 6 men, and another Nebelwerfer, and a Renault UE multi-rocket launcher. So that's 3 multi-rocket launchers in this list, and a mule. 16 order dice total.
Yeah, it's a tiny little list. It's
It is.
using some of the new tools that Case Blue provided.
Yep.
And it's really good that this particular player has gone for the veteran version of the Gerber 43 sniper team. So they're getting their second shot on a 4+, as opposed to if it's regular, it's on a 5+. As you said, triple multi-launcher, which I think will they'll enjoy that, just from the sneak peeks of the tables that I've seen.
And combined with the very, very assured destruction that you get from the Fallschirm Pioneers.
And then look, there's a good combination for the push attack, the 2 Pioneers, the 2 field cars, the Panzer 3.
Yep.
And then the officer should be running along behind that just to keep everything pushing ahead.
Yep.
It's, as
the
you said,
Kriegsmarine can stay back and hold the back line or outflank or
Yeah, I mean, I think, people might instinctively think, why do the Pioneers not have Panzerfaust? But I'm quite sure that unit type doesn't get access to them just because they're slightly earlier in the war. If it does, it's I can't remember what they're called, Panzerfaust 30s or something, that they're the half-range version of them.
Which I don't think is worth it.
No, they cost 3 points, and they're not as good. You might as well save your points. But look, it's a solid German list for what Germany can do. It's a shame that they've had to resort to the mule teams just to boost the dice count.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of bringing 3 multi-rocket launchers. I understand one. I really like having one because it encourages the spread out of the enemy. 2, okay. 3, nah. You're investing in rolling 6s. I'm not a huge fan of that. That said, it can be really good, and it can definitely destroy an enemy, even an enemy who's trying not to die from these multi-launcher hits. And he has a lot of different tools in this list. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it as well. I cannot remember what the Kriegsmarine naval gunfire experience does, though.
I don't know either. Can't remember.
Can't be that important if we can't remember.
Maybe not.
Somebody put it in the comments.
Yeah, somebody will. Right. Then we get a Japanese list. So we get a lieutenant with the SMG, a Kempetai, an engineer unit with rifles and flamethrower, 7 men, 2 15-man militia rifles, 2 suicide teams, veteran, a medium howitzer, 6-man regular, and a light truck and a mule team. Second platoon is another lieutenant, another engineer, bamboo spear fighters, suiciders, again 2 of those, another medium howitzer, and a truck and a mule team. 18 order dice total.
Yeah, it seems like a very generic Japanese list, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
There's nothing that leaps out straight away as saying wrong choices,
No.
veteran engineers, flamethrower. There's the light truck there to deliver them,
Yep.
and that's done twice.
And he has the transport capacity to throw the lieutenants in. So if he wants to, he can outflank, which I think is actually kind of a nice little option to have as a Japanese, because you're mostly Japanese, you're mostly running like large units of infantry and HE. But with this engineer option, I think it's a nice addition. But is it massively different than what we've seen before? I don't think so.
No, I mean there's still 45, inexperienced bodies on the table. I don't see it there, but I'm assuming that these howitzers have got spotters.
That would. I'm not sure because they've got extra men, right? They've got 6 men compared to the normal medium howitzer. I'm not sure what that points how that would calculate.
They're priced at 85.
Then they haven't written down that they've got spotters, and they should. So
yeah, if they don't have a spotter, then that's a huge error on the listing part, because you really need to have the spotters to get the indirect fire. Just when you've got these, big infantry units in front of you, your lines of sight are going to get blocked.
You are not going to shoot these directly most of the time. Most of the time, they're going to sit in area terrain behind your troops.
Yeah. 4 anti-tank suicide teams is good. There's a little part of me that says that this list is their fake list.
Yeah.
Just because it's too clean cut, nice cookie cutter esque. But if it had to turn up, it would do well.
I think it would do okay, depending again on the matchups.
It couldn't take a Gurkha para Canadian engineer or British list.
Of course not. But few things can. Right, Soviets. The Soviets here is inexperienced lieutenant, double assault engineers, veterans with a flamethrower and double Panzerfausts, rifle squad, 2 dog mines of 2 men, medium mortar, inexperienced, medium howitzer. That's a regular one with a spotter. That's 85 points. I don't know about that Japanese howitzer. BA-20. God, I hate the BA-20. I hate to play against it, and I hate to play it. It's good when it works, and when I play it, it always runs out. Katusha, 2 trucks, mule, second lieutenant again, 2 people's militia squads of 12 men, another medium howitzer, and a T-26 light tank with a mule. 19 order dice.
Yeah, there's, for the potential that the Soviets can put down, this is missing it. It seems like it's got all the right things, but it doesn't at the same time. It's got lots of bodies. It's got the 2 militia squads at 12 plus the free unit at 12. The 2 veteran engineer squads, they are built correctly, in my opinion, with the flamethrower and the 2 Panzerfausts. But their transport options are going to be a soft-skin truck, an inexperienced soft-skin truck.
Yeah.
You just...
Yeah, you dislike that, don't you?
Hugely. If it's... These are your, Alpha Strike units. They want to be out there, getting involved. You want to get them there safely.
Yeah, for me, it's not that much of an issue. I think the main issue that I have with them is maybe my OCD or whatever. But 12-man capacity for a 6-man unit, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, what would you put extra into that? truck? Would you
Oh,
find a
look,
lieutenant, or
I guess if you were really wanting to sort of put your eggs in the basket,
but you
you would
don't, not for the truck, right?
no, not in a soft skin truck, but
No.
you scoop up an engineer squad, you scoop up the 2 dog mines, and you scoop up a lieutenant and put them in the truck, and then click it forward to go.
Yeah.
And then just hope that that clown car will spill everything out and make the magic happen. But
They'll
it's
typically die, and everything in it will get pinned.
yeah, but its anti-tank capacity, is tied into the dog mines, which, yes, they're an enormous threat and they are very powerful, but I don't often see them as work as often as they should work. And then, your tank, they've decided on a T-26, so
Yeah.
2 turret-mounted MMGs.
Saving a few points. Maybe they didn't feel like they had points enough for a Steward or whatever, but it is a version of a darker tank, right?
Yeah, it's the cut down version, but it's still just armor 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels.
This is very vulnerable to autocannons, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Extremely vulnerable to autocannons, and we're seeing a lot of autocannons. I think this will struggle in some respects.
Yeah, and they haven't even afforded any points for a commissar.
No.
Because when you're trying to push forward, these 3 inexperienced units, I don't think it's a good list to take to the WTC.
I think it's a bad list to take, at least to this meta where you're seeing a lot of autocannons. This is going to struggle. I think this is going to be maybe not the best experience. Although I do think this versus the Japanese list, I think the Japanese one is the dud. I think still this one is coming. I'm not sure, but I think so.
I've got the same instinctive feeling.
Yeah. Right. The final one of the English team 2 here is the US. So, lieutenant with an extra man, SMGs, regular engineers, 3 regular engineers with flamethrower, 5-man engineers units, 2 5-man ranger units. So they've got the extra movement at the start of the game. Heavy mortar, inexperienced. US Army Infantry Support Squad. I love this. That's an extra flamethrower. 2 rifles, anti-tank grenades. I don't know why you would give them anti-tank. Is that something they come born with, or
I truly don't know.
Yeah, but I like the fact that you get an extra flamethrower in your army here. The rocket launcher, the Recce Jeep, and the Darker Steward, and then Dodge trucks for all the marbles here with an artillery tractor.
Yeah,
16 order dice.
Yep, 16 order dice, single platoon. I've seen this list before. I've played against this list, and I would be shocked if it's not the player that I think it is.
Oh, you know the player.
Yeah, we won't see his name on the video just in case it sort of is not accurate or might inflate his ego. But this list does play well, even though on paper it might not look that flash. But I think if your audience think back to the other videos we've already done talking about US lists and the deficiencies of them, this is the efficient version of them. With you've got the minimum sized engineer squads at regular. They are literally just there to deliver a flamethrower, and they have
the perfect delivery system in the Dodges.
Yep. I know people have heard me say, soft skins are bad, but if they're regular and they've got a gun, they're good because they can defend themselves a little bit. And there are 4 of them.
Especially this size. I mean, they can deliver those engineers. You can't kill all 4. You can kill 1, maybe 2 in a turn, but if all 4 of them rush at you, they are going to arrive. And those who survive, they will move back and they will shoot you, or they will deliver pins before they deliver the engineers. I mean, it's just a very, very hard build. This I've played against this build before.
But it's a win big, lose big list.
Oh yeah, as all true barbecue lists. I think.
And it's got the neat little trick though. It's got the M5 artillery tractor with a heavy machine gun on it.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and that's regular, so that will be dug in somewhere, providing a nice little bit of cover. The Recce Jeep is just your vehicle that's there to bait you, to do something silly. The multi-launcher is the wild card. And those Ranger squads, I think, again, they are the sort of distraction units to try and draw you forward, to draw you into range of the 4 barbecue units that want to come and deliver what they've got.
I think 5-man Rangers is a little low on bodies. Because they will quickly melt away. That was what Michael Christensen found when he was playing his forward deploying Soviets all the time. That the scout squads, veteran they might be, but they quickly melted.
Yeah, they're just bait.
Yeah,
they're bait to be on, coming up the table quickly to try and draw your opponent to put some squads towards them, and then the engineers will rush out and eliminate that threat. So that's all they are.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good list. And,
now, I do know that the Juggers have disparaged all ranking systems very hard in their podcast. But that said, where would you rank this? Because for me, this is a 4. A 4 being a very hard competitive list, but I think it could be a little bit improved.
I would say it's a 4, simply because it'll win big or it loses big. If those flamethrowers arrive and 50% of them miss, that return fire
can be brutal.
And an average player should not pick up this list, though.
No,
this list has to be practiced and used well.
Yeah. For me, the only thing that I think could be improved, and I don't know how I would improve it, but I think going double platoon might be better, just because you can take 2 tanks. But I do understand the focus on the engineers here. It is a very, very powerful build.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the English. I like these lists. There was a lot of good in these lists here. The Japanese and the Soviet one, I think, were the weakest, and I think that we are right in one of them being a dud. Right. Let's go and check out Spain 2 as well. So, Spain 2 is bringing a British list here. Right. Here we go. Now, not a Gurkha list. Notice it. He's bringing a 2nd lieutenant, 1 man, 3 forward artillery observer, then the special raiding squadron subsections, 8-man veterans, rifles and pistols, 1 SMG. This is a hugely expensive unit that I have not seen being used before. Have you?
Nope.
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 It's a push unit that can assault. So it's a sort of a version of an assault unit, veterans, but it doesn't have the Gurkha special rule, so it's not the best assaulters.
But they've got tough fighter. It's like that balance of they've got rifles, 24-inch range to shoot, but they've got pistols so that when they get involved, they've got tough fighter as well. So.
And then Royal Canadian Engineers, 5-man sections, rifles, and they're veteran with 3 SMGs, flamethrower. They are stubborn. So he's trying to make these survive once they've been delivered. A sniper, a land mattress, a Humber armored car. That is with the light autocannon version. I like this one better than the light anti-tank gun version. A Wasp with a forward-facing flamethrower. Yeah, me neither. Bren carriers, 2 of those, always good. And that is basically it. We have 12 order dice. I think it's too low on order dice here.
Yeah, there's too many points spent in units that can be done better and cheaper elsewhere. The Wasp, it's a lovely little toy, effectively, but it's still
too expensive for what it delivers, isn't it?
Yeah, too expensive. Open topped, prone to pins. 110 points, so you're only 20 points more, and you could have an M3 Stuart.
That's not a contest. That
Yep.
is not a contest.
Not even a hope. Look, the Humber armored car is a good tool though.
Really good.
Light autocannon, good for getting in the sides of the enemy Stuarts. So yep, great stuff. But yeah, those special raiding squadrons, too expensive for what they do. You could get so many more bodies for the same points.
Yeah, you can. And if you're just looking for push units, like a regular veteran section, might just do you just as well. Yeah, I know they don't have tough fighter, but how often are you really going to fight in close combat with these guys?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. I can't see the
So-
national special rule either. Can you?
No, I don't see it anywhere on the list. But look, at 12 order dice, single platoon, it's not going to do well.
I don't think so. No.
No.
It might be the dud.
Yeah, could be.
Let's see what
But
they're bringing for.
You would not want your dud list to be a British list.
Oh, that would be a mistake, I think.
That would be
So
a
for
huge
Germany,
error.
they're bringing the second lieutenant regular, the SS Cavalry Division, not on horses, but with a Panzerfaust and LMG, 8-man, Brandenburgers, 5 men, SMGs and Panzerfausts, medium mortar team, Nebelwerfer, the 250/9. God, they're everywhere, those 250s. Panzer 3, a horse-drawn limber, and the second platoon is another lieutenant, Herr Pioneers, another SS Cavalry Division, again with an LMG and Panzerfaust, medium mortar, inexperienced, Nebelwerfer, and a horse-drawn limber and a truck. 15 order dice, 1,000 points.
Yep. This just reeks of average.
Yeah.
Average Germany. You know, it plucks the tiny little units. The Brandenburgers are really useful just for their disruption and outflank disruptions. Twin multi-launchers, yep, good stuff. Panzer 3, great unit. The 250/9 with the light autocannon recce fully enclosed, yep, good unit. But
and this combination of these two, I really like that, because you have the tank that can go out and hunt infantry, and then the 250/9 is a really good light tank hunter. I like this. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, then you've got the Pioneers. Okay, they're super cut down.
Yeah.
Really
cut down.
Five veteran guys, 5 veteran rifles and a flamethrower, and that's it. Yeah. And then you've got the truck. Good, it's regular. It's got a gun. That's how you would want to do it. But I don't see the point of the cavalry division without if you don't take horses.
Why? Yeah.
And there's a light machine gun in there. You know, so it's not like they're going to be moving any faster. You know, you've got a light machine gun at 36-inch range, but then they're also carrying a Panzerfaust.
Yep.
Seems dumb. That Panzerfaust should be in the hands of the Pioneer Squad.
That makes no sense. And it's an 8-man unit, so it's something that he wants to push up a bit. It's not going to sit back home with the LMG and try to fire down range. It's going to push into the center of the table. I'm not seeing it.
No, I mean, look, as we've said, though, 2 multi-launchers and there are the 2 mortars. So, look,
that's good.
Throwing dice for 6s, but it's just an average list. I don't think it's not optimized. It's not.
I like the artillery section. I like the choice of tanks, but the infantry I don't really understand that. No. But I often feel like that with Spanish lists. So,
you know, absolutely. But we're just 2 guys on the internet, Bo. We just got to share our opinions.
True. Right. Then we've got a Japanese list here. So a second lieutenant, a Kempetai, and then militia squads, 2 of those, an engineer squad. Again, I like the inclusion of engineers in the Japanese lists here. A spigot mortar, because of course, an SS key, a light truck for the engineers, 2 bamboo spear fighters, 3 suiciders, another spigot mortar, a no-he tank, a Honi tank destroyer. That's a forward-facing medium anti-tank gun, which can fire as a light howitzer. I didn't know this tank. I think it's interesting. A mule team and 17 order dice.
I think it's a good list.
Yeah.
It is playing partially into the infantry horde.
Yep. It's got 4 units of 15 men. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a lot of bodies.
Yeah, 2 sets of militia, 2 sets of bamboos. They're all green. The Kempanize there to boost them along. Hoping that those rifles will get upgraded so their rifles will become more effective.
Yep.
The twin spigot mortars, these things, if you haven't played against them, wait till they hit you. You will get the fright of your life.
Yep.
And then splitting the workload in the tank section with the flamethrower tank and the medium anti-tank gun / light howitzer.
Yep.
I want to say that should be open topped.
I don't know what it is. It's not marked as open topped. I don't know the tank itself. I think it's interesting though because you're bringing a medium anti-tank gun. We're not seeing a lot of those. That will be deadly to stewards.
Yeah.
And you can fire as a light howitzer. If you're just facing infantry, okay, shoot the howitzer instead.
Yep. No, it's a good list. Good dice count. There was one thing that would make me a bit nervous, and that's the engineers. They're only regular. Would have been nice to have a sort of good veteran punch unit. But he's got what he's got.
Yeah, that would have upped the cost of the unit.
Of course. Yeah. And I don't know where you would have found the points for that.
Me neither.
But yeah, still a good body count.
Very nice and tidy list as well. I really like this.
And the great thing as well is compared to maybe the other Japanese list that we saw from England too, that had the howitzers, by not taking the howitzers and taking the spigot mortars, the direct fire issues melt away.
Yeah.
So
you can shoot over your guys.
You're automatically always shooting over, so it gives you those other points to spend elsewhere and get some good units. So yeah, no, good, nice Japanese list.
And the spigot mortar for 49 points is very, very cheap for what it does.
Yeah.
With a 5-man unit size, it's very survivable as well. I really like those, or hate playing against them. Don't ever get hit by a spigot mortar. That's all I can say.
No,
don't ever let it hit you. Don't let it hit you.
Don't let them do that.
Then we've got the Spanish version of a Soviet list here. It's got a inexperienced lieutenant, 2 mounted recon squads. We're seeing a lot of these as well, right? Flamethrowers, double SMGs, 3 rifle squad, medium mortar sniper, anti-tank team, the M30 heavy rocket launcher, a jeep with an MMG, Darker Steward, and 2 Bren carriers for the mounted recons. The 2nd platoon has another lieutenant, a guard squad with a Panzerfaust and rifles, a full-strength Strafbat for that outflank, and an AA gun, another jeep, a Katusha, and that is 18 order dice.
Yeah, this is a good cocktail Soviet list. Not leaning into any one particular area, so not doubling down on the M30s, not doubling down on the Stuarts, taking one of each to fit the specific role. So I would hope that the player that's put this together, I believe, will have it well practiced.
If this is a well-practiced list, this player could do really well with it because he has all the tools he needs. I mean, there's even a nice mix of different types of anti-tank. The only thing I think he's lacking is dogs. Dog mines, I think, could benefit this list. But
I thought you would say that. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why why I believe it's a well-practiced list is that he hasn't gone down the dog path.
Yeah,
and I alluded to it maybe sort of 5-10 minutes ago in this video, is that dogs, everybody thinks dogs do really well. I just don't see them achieving a lot, other than being really scary.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this guy,
Alistair, scary is good.
Scary is good, but when the scare doesn't, materialize into a destroyed tank. Yeah. Whereas the player that's put this together, a veteran anti-tank rifle team, that's a statement. That's saying it's like he knows what's needed.
Yeah. And what he wants. And look, he's clever enough to know that the M30 is better when it's regular with a spotter.
It's the only reason you should take them.
Yep.
Regular with a spotter.
Because they can sit behind line of sight blocking cover, still shoot, and they can go and rally every second turn as they need to without worry of being shot at.
Yeah, and when you look at that second platoon, that 7-man rifle squad with the Panzerfaust, they are just running along the back line, plugging a gap.
Yep. Going on ambush, being a little bit of a threat.
They're just there to sort of mop up anything that comes through. The Shaftbrad, they're there obviously to find an objective and then just stay alive. The AA gun, the guy knows that there's going to be coming up against the Stuarts and light vehicles, and then the mobile multi-launcher, and not discounting as well the 2 jeeps with medium machine guns. This is a good list.
As I said, I think I would change one of the jeeps for a dog team. But this is a really good list. For me, this is 4 or better. I really like this list. There's a lot of good to be said for this list.
I would love to find out at the end of the weekend how this list actually has done. So
So if the player is watching us, please let us know at the end. If we don't notice, I'm sorry. I'll be very busy and Alistair won't be there, but please let us know at the end how you did.
Yes, Spain to your Soviet list. Answers on a postcard, please.
Please. Right. Finally, we have the Spanish version of the US list. So here we go. We have an inexperienced lieutenant. We have engineers 2x5 with flamethrower and double SMG on one of them and a single on the other. Then we have the Northwest African Trailers. So they are mountain warriors with a single BAR. We have a flamethrower team, a medium mortar team. Why is this a 2-man team, medium mortar?
That would have to be a light mortar.
Yeah, there's something wrong here because it's priced as a medium mortar. Something is off here. And the rocket launcher, a Stuart Darker version with recce, and some Dodge trucks for the engineers and a Jeep. The second platoon is another lieutenant. Again, two trailers. Again, 7 men with a single BAR. Pretty good skirmishes, these. And another steward and a mule team. 16 order dice, 1,000 points.
So we've got the Stuarts.
Yep.
We've got
the engineers. We've got the skirmishers.
Yeah, we've
got a single multi-launcher.
Yeah, single multi-launcher. The engineers are being delivered in the Dodges, which is great. There's space in there to stick the lieutenants in as well. These African those guys, the African guys.
Yeah, trailers, yeah.
Is it really worth having 3 squads of regulars just to get Mountain Warrior?
I don't know that it is.
I don't think it is. When you could convert those points into just normal American regulars with bars. Because, forgive me, I might have forgotten. Mountain Warrior that ignores rough ground, isn't it?
I think so.
Right. So even if you ignore rough ground, so you can do your charges or move and stuff like that, you're still just 7 regular guys.
Yeah. Which isn't that great.
Well, so you're not that great.
No.
So I think it's an okay list. But again, it's lacking a sort of a veteran infantry unit for my liking.
Yeah, I could see a veteran doing well in this list instead of one of these trailer units. I think a veteran's like stubborn Marines or something with a little more staying power, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think in my head, when I look at this list, and if it had to come across the Team France's French list with the hunting packs of LMG bikes.
Oh,
These little Northwest African units are just going to get eaten up.
yeah, they're going to get pinned, and then they're going to take casualties, and they are going to disappear.
Yep. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
okay list. You know, it ticks a lot of the competitive boxes, but
It does.
when you're in a competitive field, hey ho.
Yeah. Right. So again, I've asked this before. These two nations are going head to head. Well, they're not, but they might. Where would you place your money? England 2 or Spain 2?
England 2.
England 2.
Yep.
Really, mine would be on Spain.
Yep. I think England 2 would be
Yeah.
able to do them. Yep.
Okay.
Gut feel.
I think a lot will come down to the players and to which lists are the dud lists here. If for me, I think the Spanish British list, the one with 12 order dice, is the dud, which I think is a huge mistake. But
Yes.
I just don't see that being brought. So yeah,
We'll find out. You'll
we'll
find out.
out. I'll find out. Possibly, potentially, I'll find out. I'll try to keep an eye open for everything that happens, but I will lose my cool. I know this.
Randomly,
Especially if I start winning. Yeah.
before we sign off, a random Easter egg.
What? No, you didn't.
We'll just leave that there for the audience.
Okay. Right. Right. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. We will be back with more content on the WTC. Alistair, thank you again for your wisdom and your knowledge on lists and all things competitive. Do you have any final words?
I wish all the players going to the WTC the best of times.
Right. I will try to do that as well. Right.